Another 100,000 to appreciate your loyalty. Another 100,000 because you're an excellent mother.
Oh.
Imagine this video ending and then he's just like, all right, now I'm gonna need that back. He's like, go ahead and hand me that back.
Never see tears from a gangster.
The Epidemic of Performative Couples, video by 4D Shams. Let's go ahead. Let's see what's popping.
Want to see the cringiest, most coupley thing ever? This is called a love surge. And we do this when one of us has like so much love in our limbs that we can't contain it and feel like we're gonna explode. So Sean is having a love surge right now and he's gonna wrap around me.
Okay, yeah, you just pulled this shit out of your ass. I'm not gonna lie. Like, people just be doing anything in order to get into the algorithm, don't they? Whatever floats they boat. They feel like, because a love surge, this nigga is about to have a seizure.
Shake with the electricity of love until I catch it too and start shaking, and then you explode with a love surge.
One thing I can...
I'm sorry that y'all had to see that. I did not know we was starting this video off like this, you know? I thought, well, we saw the title of the video, I mean, but,
shit about that clip is the self-awareness, because I'm glad she acknowledged that shit was corny as hell. But believe it or not, as corny as it may...
Hold on, Shells. The setup right here is hard, though. You know what I'm saying? I gotta acknowledge it, you know? You got the Akatsuki symbol, the Dragon Ball with the arcade machine. You know what I'm saying? Connect Forward. It's hard right here.
There's millions of people out there who are tuning in for this type of content. The most obviously staged, performative, corny content. I mean, some of this stuff will even give romantic novels a run for their money. And I think the most insane part about this whole thing is that people actually believe clips like this.
And then we were in the car and he was like, okay, well, not this upcoming weekend, but that next weekend. So we set a day for 2 weekends, 2 weeks in advance. Well, he did, right?
Least obvious engagement farming, by the way. Like, let's be honest, bro knows that the women in the comments are gonna be like, oh my God, girl, he's so in love with you. If he doesn't look at me like that, I don't want it. And I'm not even exaggerating either. That's literally how a lot of their comment sections look. Yo, bro, record me looking at her like I'm really in love. And you know, I'm so in.
People that probably act like this, you know, off camera, they probably got like the worst fucking like connection with each other. They probably toxic as shit.
Infatuated with her. I low-key wouldn't be surprised if he literally gave the phone to the camera person and told him, yeah, get me looking at her while she's talking like I'm so in love with her, you know, she's got me in this trance. And just look at all the women in the comments falling for this hook, line, and sinker. Girl, whatever you said, he did not hear it. He got 20 birds flying around his head. So this is love. I need a man that looks at me like this. See? They actually genuinely believe this, bro. That's all I want. The love in his eyes for you. And you know, putting aside the fact that they obviously know that the camera's recording.
And honestly, this really just feeds, you know, that fantasy to most females, bro, because, you know, a lot of girls want that, you know what I'm saying? That type of intimacy with another person. So, you know, that's really who they feeding off of, bro. And that shit working.
Actually believe this once or twice, but when your whole page is filled with content that looks like a scene that's straight out of a romantic novel, I'm sorry, I'm not falling for that. And you know, if this was one of those things like WWE where everybody knows it's fake, but it's entertaining and there's like unexpected outcomes sometimes, and you know, it's planned really well so it's enjoyable, I totally understand. But no, there's people who fall for this type of content hook, line, and sinker. That's part of the reason why these couple pages are so popular. When it comes to social media, there's obviously a plethora of different types of content. You got the gaming content, you got the gooner content, you got the family channels, you got the comedic content, and then of course you have the couples content. These couples who basically record their day-to-day lives and showcase how much they care about each other, all the things they do for one another, how deeply in love and infatuated they are with one another. Some popular white couples include Megan and Jack, Austin and Lexi, Sam and Monica, and then on the black side of couples content we got Dia.
See, I was just about to get to this shit right here. The reason why I wouldn't, like, there's nothing wrong with coming up like this, but like, if I were to come up, you know what I'm saying, I would have to build my own shit to the side, like my own separate channel to the side, because then like, you just gonna be known for being attached to this person. You know what I'm saying? Like, what about your own personal brand? You feel me? Like, just for you and yourself. You dig? And then when you end up breaking up, you know, God forbid, but let's say you do end up breaking up, for example, like De'Ara and Ken, you know what I'm saying? Who knows what is supposed to happen? It just becomes a whole mess. You gotta figure out who gets, you know, what from the channel, how they gonna split this and that and all that. Shit, it's almost like being married in a sense, but with content. Damn. And then like Ken, we don't even know what the fuck happened to this nigga. He disappeared. Apparently De'Ara is doing good though, but shit, like this was the face of couples, like couple channels right here. Everybody remember DK4L.
And Ken, Chris and Queen, Neek and King, Desmond and Christy. Mind you, none of them are still together to this day. And it's crazy because there's a huge portion of
That is true. Not now. One of them, out of all of them, the only ones I really watched was DK4L. But Chris and Queen, you know what I'm saying? I heard about them and all that. I probably seen like one or two, maybe a few of their videos, but yeah, none of these motherfuckers together. And that, in a sense, just goes to show you, like, how this shit can go left.
these people's fans who actually are surprised that they're no longer together. They're actually surprised that the fake perfect couple persona that they portray online isn't real. And I don't know if it's because their avid viewers live vicariously through them. Like, they genuinely delude themselves into belief.
That's definitely what it is. You know, they develop a parasocial relationship with them, and then, you know, that's what they end up becoming attached to, them being a couple.
Whatever they see on camera is truly how that relationship functions. But the thing is, one of these couples will break up and you'll have people in the comments talking about, oh, I don't believe in love anymore. I lost all hope in love. As if they think that real relationships are like this melodramatic act that they're seeing on their screens. Brief intermission, y'all. I'm here with the opportunity to skip this advertisement because I don't have any ads yet. You know what I'm saying? Let's just go ahead and fast forward. Boom. Wow. Let's get to it. And I think the most recent and most fitting example of what I'm talking about is Christy and Desmond, the huge internet couple who recently broke up. And honestly, after seeing clips like this, I don't even know why people are surprised that they broke up. I could have seen that shit coming from like 10 miles away.
Fuck, I
Would you be
spoke too
happy
soon.
if you stayed where you are in life and job?
Hey,
forever?
I spoke
The
way
answer
too
is yes,
soon.
then
Hey,
this video is not
y'all know
for
what
you.
to do,
But
bro.
if
Y'all know what to do. Okay, I actually seen them on TikTok. Not TikTok. I seen them on Instagram Reels. You know what I'm saying? I say TikTok because I saw it right there. But yeah, I actually seen this couple floating around before, and yeah, it automatically seemed fake for me from the moment that I seen it. That's not a shot at them. That's just what I got from my perspective watching their content.
Christy, are those tongues?
I'm sorry, but at some point that had to have gotten exhausting. Because imagine every single day for years on end, over and over again, you're getting hit with similar pranks and you gotta walk into a room or walk into your car and act like you don't see the camera that's low-key right in front of your face. You gotta pretend like you're not expecting the prank that your partner does about the same time every single week. And on top of that, you gotta act like the joke that was said or...
And then not just that, pranks get played out quick. You feel me? Pranks, you can only do... I mean, I guess in a sense it's endless, but there's only so many different pranks that you can do before you eventually end up going too far. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't be able to survive a cheating prank. Cause trust and believe, nigga. Man, I don't care. I don't care if it, man, don't play with me like that. On my soul, don't play with me like that.
or the prank that was
I mentally cannot handle it.
entertaining or funny as the first time it was done. I'm sorry, but unless you're some sort of A-tier trained actor, I don't think a normal person can keep this act up indefinitely. But all that aside, I genuinely do feel like you have to have a certain level of delusion to actually be entertained and believe this level of acting.
Hey babe, are you coming out here? Okay, let's see how long I can keep my hand here while the window goes up.
You can't do that, you're gonna hurt you, break your fingers.
Okay, so dude walks into the garage. She literally explains exactly what she's gonna do, which keep in mind, it sounds absolutely dangerous. So if he wanted to prevent it, he would have prevented it right there. He then proceeds to let her do it, but it seems like it failed the first time because the car seems to have some sort of safety feature that prevents her hand from being stuck. Whole time dude is still standing there, by the way, letting her proceed. And then he goes on to say, you can't do that, you gonna break your finger. And I think like he went off script there and he had to get back on track. The scene switches to the camera that's behind him and he low-key tilts his head, but not all the way so he doesn't make eye contact with the camera. And then he has to do the same, oh no, type of reaction when her fingers apparently get chopped off. Like, bro, this is WWE level acting right here. And there's more.
What is wrong? You need to take off the scales!
When will this stop? Was he trying to send us subliminal messages? And it's crazy because at some point it became so apparent to see the point where he became completely fed up with the process of making content with his wife. I ain't gonna lie, dude was looking like he couldn't stand her ass. And the thing is, his little default laugh started becoming harder and harder to watch. Like, this dude will go from being dead serious to hysterically laughing with no in between. And for
nah, yeah, that lets you know that he was fed up. If a nigga can just go from straight up laughing, ha 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 ha, yeah, that nigga's done. That nigga is done, bro. And honestly, it would probably drive anyone insane to continuously do that over and over again. Like, if you was doing a couples channel, bro, I wouldn't recommend you building your brand off pranks all the time. You feel me? Like, I wouldn't recommend that at all. Because it's just going to get played out. Like, there's other things that you can do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could do activities and shit. That's what Dior and Ken did. They were just doing shit together. And then they did pranks like here and there. That's how I would do it. But, you know, I already said how I feel about including your relationship on the internet anyway, so.
avid laughers like myself, you know that when you laugh, there's low-key a buildup. At first, the joke sets in, you know, your brain is processing it, and then you giggle a little bit, and then you start laughing, and then there's like the peak of the laughter where like the joke set in and like you completely internalize it, and then you slowly like taper off. You don't go 0 to 100 like this. You see how that low-key looks crazy? And see, there's this thing that I think that people who are chronically online tend to suffer from, and it's something called object permanence. And just to explain object permanence a little bit, it's something that babies have where if they don't see an object or a person, they think it doesn't exist. That's why babies find things like peekaboo so entertaining or sometimes shocking, because you're literally disappearing and then reappearing. But the point I'm trying to make here is that these adults suffer from the same thing. They think because they don't see these couples arguing that their arguments don't exist. They think that since every time they see them, they're portraying this perfect relationship, that's how their whole relationship is. But in all honesty, if more of these internet couples were transparent, this is some of the things you would see.
I haven't been to the grocery store in months because this delivery service offers hundreds of high-quality,
Okay.
Babe, don't touch me in places when I'm recording. Can't even use it because that's weird, babe. We cater to families.
And I think another thing that people
that seems pretty authentic right there.
acknowledges that at some point these couple pages don't just become about the relationship. Sure, they might start that way, but at some point it becomes a business. Because when you include the views, the sponsorships, and all the above, these couple pages can easily be bringing in millions. So I definitely feel like there gets to a point in the relationship where there's a crossroad. Do we record every second of our day and make content out of it so we can make this money? Or do we try to preserve our relationship and keep...
I prefer the happiness and healthiness of the relationship over anything. Honestly, like, I ain't with all the, you feel me, the toxicity or anything dealing with. If, like, forget all the numbers and the money. As long as we healthy, we good, and, you know, we got a positive environment, we straight.
authentic. And of course, there's probably a balance between the two, but I can only imagine it being very difficult to try to maintain that balance, especially as they gain popularity and more opportunities start to present themselves. Like, I can't imagine trying to have an intimate moment with my girl and then like there's a camera right there and maybe we didn't do something right or it didn't turn out as well as it could have, so we gotta rerun it, or maybe there wasn't even a camera involved to begin with, but we reenact it so we can get it on camera. And then imagine having to multiple takes. Those relationships are probably extremely stressful. And I think the archetype of internet relationship that I hate the most is the interracial couple. Whether it's a black man with a non-black woman, where you have a bunch of weird black men in the comments talking about, yeah, if it's not snowing, I'm not going, or go where you're loved. Or the other side where it's a black woman and then a non-black man.
I ain't gonna lie, that's top tier glaze right there. He said, if it ain't snowing, I'm not going. Relax. Relax.
You have black women in the comments who are congratulating her, praising her for not being with a black man. I think that's very weird behavior. We've already had a content creator get exposed for playing into this harmful narrative. This content creator's whole spiel was that she was a single mother of 2, and then this white man came and married her and basically acted like her.
And not just that, when it comes to stuff like that, it demonizes the other race. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, it demonizes them and just makes this demographic of people just seem bad. Like, no.
And then she would later on expose that she was basically funding the whole relationship, paying for everything.
Deposit on our house. Let's not pretend that I'm not the one that paid for the Range Rover. Let's not pretend that I'm the one that paid for this whole fucking life that we live. Let's not pretend that. Let's not pretend.
And hey, man, if she's breaded up and she chooses to be in a relationship with him, it's not crazy that she's paying for stuff. But see, that whole relationship got really weird when he did this. Reminder to take care of your families or men like us will. And then he proceeds to show a bunch of white men. Oh, brother. Way to feed into harmful stereotypes. And I think the only other internet archetype that might be just as bad is the pandering boyfriend or husband archetype. These relationship pages where the man will basically act holier than thou, pander up and down to women, and set some of the most unrealistic standards for the—
Yeah, I can't stand stuff like that. Like, come on, bro. I'm sorry, but it's like any influencer that's only advocating for one side, I don't know if I can trust them. You know what I'm saying? Because like, you only preaching towards this group of people. What about the other half? You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't never get behind or trust anybody that does stuff like that.
Regular average man. Dude will post stuff like this and women will eat it up.
And look, I'm not even just talking about, you know what I'm saying, anything anyone specific. I'm just talking about in general. Whether you're only pandering and catering towards women, whether you pandering or whatever catering towards men, either or. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't trust channels or anybody that's like that. You feel me? You gotta respect both sides. You feel me? Each side is just as important and just as significant as the other. That's how I feel.
Another 100,000 to appreciate your loyalty. Another 100,000 because you're an excellent mother.
Oh.
Imagine this video and then he's just like, all right, now I'm gonna need that back. He's like, go ahead and hand me that back.
And 50,000 just in case you want to splurge on me or something. I love you from the bottom of your feet to the top of your head.
And the thing is, a lot of times this type of content is extremely disingenuous and extremely disrespectful to regular hard-working men. Because no, your average man isn't gonna have hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars in the bank to give away to their significant other. That is by no means realistic. But the men in these internet relationships will try to make it seem like that's the norm, that's the standard. And they largely do this because they know that women will bite. It'll get the views. Women will be in the comments like, yes, that's a real man right there. When I would argue that the man that's working his ass off to provide for his family is just as much of a man, if not more. But with that being said though,
yeah, man, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section below, bruh. I'll catch you on the next one. Hey, if you like the video, then like the video. And if you want to see more reactions, subscribe. I love y'all.
Shout out to my twin. Ain't never seen tears from a gangster, so why the world want me to cry? Fighting depression, talk to the spirits, use them judges that help me get by. But I cannot lie, that she hurt me bad when I got that call, told me you died. Like how the fuck can they take you? Man, I hope I wake up, it's a lie.